The reaction is for mature audiences only. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Reaction, an uncensored sports call-in show with no boundaries. I am your host, the Commish. The phone lines are open. Come speak your mind. Free your mind. Free whatever the hell you want to free. Because there are no boundaries here. It's completely uncensored. So, phone lines are open for the next hour. Anytime you feel like calling in and joining the show, please do so. And we will put you right through. If they're not open, because obviously I don't have a gang of operators hanging out here. So if somebody's on there, you know, obviously, you're not going to get through. What's up? You're on The Reaction. This is the Commish. Speak your mind. Who we got here?
Commish, you got Hot Neil, your all-time joker.
What's up, Hot Neil?
What's up, brother? Hey, about time we got a big W.
Well, yeah. This was the last one that looked like a lock or you know the best possibility of a W. Obviously, of course, across the course of the rest of the season. So you know it's the one you had to have a bullseye on.
Yeah, well,
the Cardinals suck.
Well, you know what's funny? I said by 2019, Ruben is going to do the same thing like I said before, back in 1990. Get all his soldiers and everything, and let's see if he brings a big W for the rest of the 9 years that we got.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we're knee deep in his plan now, so we've got nothing left but to let it run its course, and we'll see. We'll see.
All right, Commish. Well, wish you a good night. I'll be watching your show.
All right, man. Well,
happy Thanksgiving, brother.
You too, man. You too as well. And thanks for jumping on as always. Phone lines are back open. Thank you, Hot Neil. Phone lines are back open. Numbers right there. Whatever. All sports are open. I mean, of course, we want to talk about Raiders because, you know, we're just coming off that big W this week. The big 2-8. Hey. It is what it is. Well, I ain't got time for all that. So, let me get right to it. So let's touch on a little bit of that game from yesterday. Obviously, it was the Marcel Aitman coming out party. It was his rookie debut, as well as Saheed Blacknall. Saheed Blacknall didn't really make a blip on the radar. Aitman, however, did 4 receptions for 50 yards. The long was obviously the 32-yarder, which was the big play. He was targeted 5 times, so he obviously was... He was a part of the offensive strategy coming into the game, for sure. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. You got anything to get off your chest? Call in, call in. It's our new Monday format. Sports call-in show with no boundaries. Feel free to use the phone lines throughout the hour as you feel free. Let's see. Banged up again at wide receiver, though. However, as LaFell goes down, out for the season, so we've got to fill that spot. In comes an old and familiar name, Keon Hatcher. And all of a sudden, I see people all excited that he's gonna be the fix that comes in and takes care of things. This guy was on the practice squad in Green Bay. I know he was a Raider for a minute, but I mean, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. I mean, he's a stopgap. We picked up a guy off of somebody's practice squad. We picked up a guy off of a practice squad of a team that is under 500. That's kind of the condition of where we're at right now. It's pretty much just anything to shove in the hole to stop the bleeding. We've still got Seth Roberts. Aitman stepped up. Saheed Blacknall he was a wide receiver that I was kind of curious about through training camp and preseason. A guy out of Penn State, and I was just kind of wondering what he would bring. So I was interested to see once he got some action this week how he was going to shake out, but obviously he didn't end up being much more than a decoy. Oh, no, just Monday. Just Monday. Just Monday. Don't get excited, Javier. Don't get excited. Raider Reaction is here all the rest of the week. Just on Monday, we want to give a little more wider forum and an opportunity for those watching to call in. So, Mondays is all sports call-in show. Forum's open. Of course, you know, we're still going to talk majority in silver and black because, you know, that's what the page is. That's what most of our page followers are. But there's a lot going on. And since, you know, we are 2-8, the season is somewhat in, I would say, rebuild mode, I guess, to be politically correct. Then we need a little more. So, phone lines are open. Anybody feels like calling in, please call in. Speak your mind. Got anything you want to get off your chest? It's an opportunity for you to provide your reaction as well as mine. I think it was positive yesterday. Yesterday was a big win for the Oakland Raiders. And for those that said, oh, well, we've ruined it now. Now we're not the number one. Now we don't have the number 1 overall pick. Listen, you can't ask professional athletes to go out there and play to lose. They should only have one gear and only have one mindset. And that's the mindset with the will to win. That's what got them to be where they are. And that's what drives them as a professional athlete and a competitor. What's up? Welcome to the reaction. Speak your mind. Who we got?
We got Kevin.
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
A few quick things I wanted to get your take on. So,
right on.
I mean, as great as a win it was yesterday, thinking forward since it is a last season, does this hurt us in the draft? Like, would you take that W and fall to 3rd instead of 1st overall?
Yes, I would, because as I was almost in the middle of saying, you can't take the will to win away from these guys. Even though they're a depleted roster, you're still going out there, and these guys are practicing as a unit, and they're going out with the goal to try and win every week. So you can't take that positive vibe away that they can be built off of winning, because that gets these young guys to buy in to what you're doing. Is it like, look, we tore it down, and we still got to win, guys. So no, I think the win's big, because the thing is, the rest of these teams are still going to lose and continue to lose too. We're probably going to end up with the first overall pick anyway, regardless. Besides that win, honestly.
I guess, I guess it's a building block. That W does go a long way. I'm thinking long term. I know last week we talked about not wanting Bosa because of his commitment to Ohio State. Now you see the other top lineman in the draft. I can't think of his name right now. The guy from the University of Houston.
Oh, Oliver. Yeah.
Oliver. Yeah. I mean, his little sideline rant. I don't think we're gonna get him either.
Bad look. That was a bad look for that kid, man. To throw a fit about a coat on the sideline and get all huffy with your coach, that was a bad look for that kid. It's gonna cost him a couple dollars in the draft for sure. I think it was a bad look.
Last but not least, speaking of sideline rants, I know it's a little early in the show, but what's your take on the little rant between Coach Gruden and Carr?
I think it was probably a little blown out of proportion. I mean, obviously it was a crucial time in the game. Carr had looked like he'd made an audible. They're going to get heated. I mean, those two are pretty much joined at the hip. They're in communication the entire the entire game, and I didn't really have any issues seeing a little fire. It was nice to see a little fire out of Carr. It looked like he bit back when Gruden was questioning him. So I kind of like seeing it. And the thing is how long was that? Maybe 15, 20 seconds, 30 at the most. And they separated and walked away, and that was the end of it, really, for the most part. If there wasn't a camera right there on them, it wouldn't have been anything. So I don't know. I think it was just getting blown out of proportion. Gruden's a passionate guy.
I mean, if I remember the play correctly, we were driving down the field, and Carr passed to either Washington or Richard, and we were short by a yard or two, if I remember correctly. If it is that same play that I'm thinking of, that was the only play we had. I mean, Carr did the correct thing.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the same play too. He audibled, and then he threw to the right side to Richard, and yes. But hey man, it is what it is. It's sometimes when the clock's ticking down, it's towards the end of the game. It's
I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's see if Hatcher can help out. I know we still got Amen, and we got rid of that other wideout, Blackwell or whatever his name is. We got rid of him today. I think we even left him in Arizona. So
well, he didn't show up. He definitely didn't show up. He was a no-show on the field. Aitman showed up, but he did not show up. That's for sure. I was interested to see what that kid was gonna bring. He really didn't bring nothing.
I mean, Aitman didn't ball out, as much as I hope, but he was clutch down the end, and that's all we really need.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it there, and I'll let the phone lines open up for someone else.
All right, man. Thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it as always, Kevin. Thank you, my man. Phone lines are open. Anybody else wants to call in? Whatever you want to get off your mind. It was, as a whole, it was another crazy week in the NFL. A bunch of the games went down to the wire. You had the Dallas-Atlanta game, the Baltimore game, where you had the young quarterback stepping up, taking over for Flacco. They'd been talking about him all offseason, and then all of a sudden he finally gets his chance and he shines. You had the Tampa Bay-New York game. Tampa almost brought it back as Jameis comes off the bench. It was just a crazy weekend as a whole. Pittsburgh comes back, takes down Jacksonville, as it looked like Jacksonville was going to finally try to crawl up off the mat, and then no. Khalil Mack goes out and just, unfortunately, looked like Khalil Mack used to look like, silver and black. But goes out there and he's just annihilating. And then, man, I mean, I'd like to think that we contributed somewhat to the downfall of the defending Super Bowl champs. I would like to think that I've contributed, hopefully, somewhat, and that Raider Nation, who's, through the course of the season, off season, helped prepare for this season. I would hope we would have contributed somewhat to the downfall and demise of the defending champions to make sure that garbage never happens again. I hope we can say that. So, but those of you that are with us and those of you that joined us, thank you for joining us. And yes, it looks a little different in here, but that's only on Mondays. On Mondays, we open it up to a wider forum called the ReACTION and a call-in show where you can call in and speak your mind as well. Of course, we go right back to the normal lineup. On Tuesday, it's a solid hour of everything silver and black as Raider ReACTION presents the Raider Nation Report with yours truly. On Wednesday, Prime joins the show as goes to the post as we drop back deep in the pocket and let it fly league-wide as we rip through all of the upcoming week's games and make our predictions, breaking down our picks from the previous week as well. On Thursday, we got a whole new show for you on Thursday. So make sure you check it out this Thursday because we got a whole new bit of silver and black flavor for you every Thursday. And then, of course, on Friday, it's Black Friday. Again, as it always has been. Once again, this weekend, as we will premiere a classic matchup from this week's opponent, the Shitbirds of Baltimore. We will debut a classic game. What's up? You're on the ReACTION. Speak your mind.
Hey, it's Matt.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I just have a question, and then I'll get off the phone and let you answer. The last 2 weeks, our defense has looked significantly better since Bruce Irvin has left. Other than the younger guys coming in, what do you think is the biggest difference about the defensive play?
Good question. Good question. What do I think the best about the defensive play? That's a good question, my man. Very good question. Well, youth at linebacker moving in. I like the fact that we have stepped up at corner and allowed Conley to be the man at corner. And I also like the fact that over the last 2 weeks, you've noticed there's been no Reggie Nelson. Reggie Nelson has been absent. Carl Joseph gets his first start last week and then gets a big start this week. So the influx of Carl Joseph, the fact that we've given a little confidence in Garyon Conley and put him out there. And yes, Kabinda, some of the young Marquell Lee, Whitehead's even played a little better over the last couple weeks. And what's the key to any defense? Turnovers. We've gotten turnovers the last 2 weeks, and it's happened to keep us in the game. It's unfortunate that against the Chargers, we couldn't really do anything with those. You can't just kick a couple field goals and expect to win in the NFL, unfortunately. This week, we got it done. And those turnovers were, a big part of it. No Reggie Nelson as your security blanket definitely cannot hurt your defense. I'm sorry. At one point, I was a big Reggie Nelson fan, but that ship has sailed, and Reggie needs to get the hell on it and go with it. Carl Joseph is the future, and I'm happy to see that Carl Joseph the last couple weeks has really gotten a chance to step up and see what a healthy Carl Joseph can do. I think he's looked good the last couple weeks, and I hope that they continue to put him out there, continue to let him start, and this is a good opportunity for him to cut his teeth. We've got a gruesome schedule coming up. This defense is going to be under fire, and if you ever wanted a trial by fire for your safety, there you go. 813. If you can't read that, by the way, which if you can't, sorry. 813. But yes, phone lines are open. Feel free to join the party. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. But like I said, as a whole, it was a crazy week in the NFL, and there were some massive injuries. Oh, we'll get back to that. Hold on, we got somebody joining the show. Welcome to the reaction. I'm the Commish. Speak your mind.
Hey, this is Reggie from Virginia. I got one suggestion and one question for you. On a suggestion, your voodoo doll in Philadelphia did wonders. I'm asking that you do 3 next year for the Sparklers, the Donkeys, and the Queens.
All right. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea because it seems to work this year. I mean, they're falling the hell apart.
Keep up the good work. But I like the fire that I saw in Carr. It's about time. I was waiting for him to grab some people by the face mask and get their junk and tell them, to quit dropping the ball. But at least he's shown that he's not quitting. He wants to win. Him and Gruden fighting. They're not calling it in, which is, I don't care how high we are in the draft picks. I want more W's.
Me too.
It's going to make our players better. It's going to make us play more as a team. And the depth on defensive players is so deep this year in college ball. If we're in the top 5 as our first pick, we're good to go.
Yeah, we've got 3 number 1s. So that's what I don't understand. If everybody gets, we don't have to have the first overall. Some of these guys are going to have, half of these starters are coming back next year. We got to build some sort of continuity and some sort of team mojo of some sort this season. We can't just tank the whole thing. You just can't do that. We've got young players here. We're trying to mold still.
I agree 100% on that. Well, here's my question for you.
Sure.
I really do not want Le'Veon Bell. But Le'Veon Bell is going to be like a log jam. Wherever he goes, some other running back is probably going to be let loose.
True. Because you won't be able to afford him.
and that may be able to open up us to get a replacement for Marshawn Lynch, because we're probably not going to be in Oakland next year. Where do you think Le'Veon Bell may go, and do you think that will open up, and who you think we may be able to get as a running back?
That's an interesting question. One of the teams that I hear is one of the front runners that I've heard for Le'Veon Bell has been the New York Jets, because they're a team that's going to have a lot of money. They've got the availability to pay him. They really don't have another stud running back on roster. So they're a team that's in complete rebuild, and an injection of Le'Veon Bell to their team could mean something quick, over a season or two. I'm with you. I don't want Le'Veon Bell as a Raider. He's a me guy. He would kill our salary cap. I don't want him in our locker room with these young players and what we're trying to build. I don't want Le'Veon Bell. I hope John Gruden does not have a sparkle in his eye for Le'Veon Bell. I really hope so. I really hope that's not the case.
Well, Le'Veon Bell, even in college, was a me person. I don't know if you know the story of when he first was going into college ball, but he was supposed to go to Bowling Green because they were going to take him as a running back, and I believe it was Michigan State wanted him to be a defensive player. Mm-hmm. Well, when they got in trouble at a frat party, then everything switched, and after committing, he calls in and says, "Nah, I'm going to go somewhere else." He's always about him ever since college, and like you said, when he was in the playoffs, he shows up 5 minutes before game time.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need that mess.
No, we're trying to build something new. I mean, yes, it's a total rebuild, and yes, you know, we're 2-8 and yada yada and all that. But there's a lot of young talent on this team. You've got a franchise quarterback here still. You've got an offensive line that, you know, is still Pro Bowl caliber all the way across. It's got some new pieces, and it's still learning how to play together. And, you know, we've got a banged up wide receiver core. And this has just been a weird season, but it's not a season where you just don't tank games. You can't tank games as a pro. You got to keep trying to go out there and do what you can with what you got. And that's how you build a team.
I agree. Well, thanks, Commish. You have a good night, and then I'll get off here and let somebody else call in.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you for calling in, as always. Anybody else wants to join the show, please call in, 813-401-4942. Number's right there across the bottom. Phone lines are open. We got 30 minutes or so left, or whenever I feel like I want to get the hell off. Because the reaction really has no limits. On Mondays, it's a new format, just on Mondays, so don't get excited. You tune in, everything looks different, you lost. Because right here tomorrow, same Raider time, same Raider channel. It's a solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. The Raider Nation Report with yours truly. So, don't get it twisted. It's still all about the silver and black. It's just on Monday. You know, you go through Saturday. We don't see, you know, Sunday's all about football. But there's a lot of sports that goes down over the weekend. And if there's stuff you want to talk about, you want to vent, we open up a much bigger forum on Mondays. And thank you for joining us, as always. You're on the reaction with the Commish. Speak your mind. Who we got, man?
Hey, what's going on? This is Dan calling from Denver, Colorado, home of the Denver Broncos.
Oh, my goodness. What's up, Dan?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I just had a call because you're cool. Obviously very knowledgeable, and you're a cool guy. So, no, I'm just surprised, man, that win over the weekend over the Chargers. I mean, even I was not thinking we would make that happen. So
no,
my first question was,
it was a good win. It was a good win. Sorry,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Sorry. The floor's yours.
Oh yeah. So I was just saying, like, was that not a big surprise? Just like, wow, the Chargers were hot.
It was a surprise. I did not pick the Broncos to win. I picked the Chargers to win that game. I thought for sure they'd win. The Chargers have been on a roll. Although the week prior, when they played us, they did not look that good. So it looked like they may have been prime and looking kind of past us. Maybe kind of looking past the Broncos and maybe more looking, you know, down the line. Like they just saw two wins, man, you know, because they didn't look very good against us. If we just scored some points, they were definitely beatable that day. We just couldn't score any goddamn points. But they're coming down, and they're the Chargers. You know, they always look good for a while, and then, you know, they show their true colors.
They typically find a way to tank it, yes. Here's my second question.
That's why they're on the kiddie table. That's why.
So here's the second question. How do you guys feel about, you know, I mean, honestly, Raiders Broncos, it's a big deal. The Chiefs, you know, it's just like, you know, Broncos, we're having a rough year, and then you guys are rebuilding. You know, do you find yourself like I'm kind of like, you know, for the Chiefs, I'm actually rooting for them. You know, I want them to get up in the AFC Championship and see what they can go. You know, what they can do. I'm actually,
no.
You know, do you go that way?
No.
Yeah, is it like brother AFC?
No.
Like, no.
No. I'm completely opposite of you, my man. I'm completely opposite of you. I would rather see nobody in the AFC West win a goddamn thing at all. I'm totally night and day of that. I do not want to see the Chiefs fans ever have even the slightest little bit of glory, ever. Because I always want to be able to hold that trump card over them. So no, I don't.
Okay.
It really comes down to it. Because I root for nobody. When it comes to play, I've had this. I don't root for any other team. Period. I will root for another team to lose. So when it comes to like two teams playing, it's like, who do I want to not win the most, basically? I will never root for another team to win. I'll just root for, like, it'll be like, oh, I don't want that team to win, so I guess I'd like to see them win, I guess. But I'm not rooting for them to win. Yeah, I'm rooting for the other team to lose. I know that's...
Maybe I just have a really, really big heart, and just somewhere my sympathy part of my heart on my Chiefs, you know, they always screw it up. They always fold. It's like, you know, I don't know. Give them one shot in there, see what they can do. But they're going to play the Patriots, and they'll probably lose in the AFC Championship if they make it that far.
I'm a sports Grinch. I have no heart for any other teams.
Hey, man, well, right on. That's all I got.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can, you know, have a little more, whatever, this year. So, no, I don't want to see any other team in our division succeed ever. I want to see them all crash and burn. I have a hard time rooting. So basically, it comes down to it's like some weird Survivor series for me once you get into the playoffs, like of which team I want to see win at least. And I want to see that team lose everywhere. And then I'm like, you know, you like some team like the Texans are still in it. You're like, yeah, who gives a shit about them? They've never had anything. Throw them a fucking bone. You know, when it gets down to some team like that where you don't care about, you're like the Browns. Fuck it, let's see the Browns win. You know, but hell, do I want to see the Chiefs? Never. I don't even want to see them get a playoff win. No way. Never get to the AFC Championship. Then these smug-ass Chief fans can be like, oh, well, we got to the AFC Championship. Yeah, get out of here. No way. I don't want to see him get a Super Bowl appearance. I don't want to see him anywhere near it. No. Hell no. They're like barely off the kiddie table because, you know, they like left it so long ago that they've almost been kicked back down to it. That's for sure. I draft the whole Alabama line in the first round. Now, minor league football is a little different. You see all these crazy talks like, oh, Alabama could beat the Raiders. No, it wouldn't even be fucking close. The Raiders would, this Raider team we got right now would absolutely truck the best freaking college football team there is out there. The tiers of talent is, no. Literally, there's off an entire college roster, even the very top team, there's only a handful of guys. I mean a handful. I'm talking like maybe, 3, 4, 5 at the most that are going to make NFL rosters. And most of those guys won't turn out to be shit. That's the percentage. And you're talking about an NFL roster full of guys that have made it. And made it, and these guys are starters on an NFL roster. So there's such a small percentage of what is, you're insane. The level of talent is just crazy, especially defensively. You just look at college corners and the way college corners play against the way NFL corners play. You can't even stick a goddamn ball in on NFL corners. Even the shittiest of starting pairs on any of the 32 teams, which, you know, could possibly be us, considering where we're ranked. But you take the two worst corner pairs statistically in the entire NFL, and you go stick them up. No, they're gonna shut down anybody. It's a huge talent. A huge talent leap. So it's always laughable when you see those. Oh man, they could beat them. The hell they could. It would be laughable. It wouldn't even be close. It's, you know, it's something funny for drunk guys to talk about when they're sitting around the bar. But nah, that would not be entertaining to watch. It would be bad. It would be touchdown, pick, touchdown, fumble, touchdown. God, it would be bad. You'd see people getting hurt. Come on. You want to stick somebody like Khalil Mack out there against a bunch of college kids? Did you see what that guy did against the freaking left tackle for the Vikings with one goddamn arm? He picked him up, about tossed him halfway across the offensive line. You put that dude up against some college kids? Jesus Christ, there'd be chalk lines out on the field. No way in hell. No way. It's the talent between even the worst and middle of the road teams in the NFL is so much different than your top tier college teams. It would just be ugliness. 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 So phone lines are open, 813-401-4942. Every Monday we open up the Raider Reaction to a little wider format called the Reaction, where you can speak your mind on anything sports related, what have you, silver and black. And we even had a Donkey fan on. Who will win the AFC Championship? That's it. It's a good question. It's a good question. I'll field that one. Who will win the AFC Championship? Now, the Texans, even though they're 7-3, I'm not a firm believer in the Texans. I'm not. I'm not sold on Deshaun Watson. I'm not sold on the somewhat of a... They've plugged in Demaryius Thomas now, wide receiver. They lost Will Fuller. There's... The one thing that makes the Texans interesting is that defense, if that defense can stay healthy. The Chiefs. What's the score, by the way? Anybody got a score check on that game? Hold on, I got it up here somewhere. Where are we at? 30-30. Holy shit, it's a freaking shootout. You kind of knew it was going to be a shootout. Neither one of those defenses are very stellar. They've got prolific offenses, but neither one of those defenses are great. 30-30 game. Jesus, you're getting money's worth right there on Monday Night Football. Do you know that they pulled in basically like a playoff officiating crew for this? They handpicked this officiating crew for this game. They moved the game, obviously, from the site it was supposed to be at down in Mexico. They moved it because the field condition wasn't going to have this game. They see it lining up a couple weeks ago that this was going to be a marquee game like they haven't had in a couple seasons on Monday Night Football this late in the season with teams with the records that look like they were going to have coming in. So they pulled together basically and handpicked this officiating crew and put it together like they would for a premier playoff game. That's the type of product they thought they were going to put out there today. And looks like Roger is probably happy about what's going on because all that extra effort. The AFC Championship game. Well, the Rams are in the NFC, so that's not going to happen. Now you could see the Chiefs. I don't know who's going to win the AFC. I see the front runners as basically your division leaders right now, but I honestly see in the AFC South, I would be more scared of the Colts than I am of the Texans. You've got a surging Andrew Luck, who I think's a much more capable quarterback than I do Deshaun Watson. The Steelers, they're an interesting team. If they can stay healthy down the stretch, they're an interesting team. The Ravens, the AFC, Brandon hits the nail on the head. The team that I would be worried about is in the NFC. Because Drew Brees is clubbing motherfuckers over the head right now. Drew Brees is lighting it up. What he just did to the Eagles made this voodoo doll look like nothing. He made pin cushions out of the Eagles. It was not good. Man, if you watched 48-7. I mean, I had Zach Ertz going in fantasy. Zach Ertz got me 41 points last week in fantasy. Zach Ertz got me a whole lot of jack and shit this week, and my team lost, and now I'm about pretty much goddamn eliminated. All because of the Saints. Almost single-handedly ended my fantasy season. Thank you. But that's the team I would be worried about right now. in the NFC. I don't see another team taking them down. The Rams, in a shootout and a track meet, maybe, because neither one of those teams have any defense, and that's going to be a high-scoring game. The Bears are an interesting team because when you get into the playoffs, if that Bears defense is healthy, and you got Khalil Mack playing all world, hey man, a couple big plays, a couple of them strip sacks, a couple of things go the Bears' way, and all of a sudden. So that's an interesting team. Now, when you look at the NFC East, which is the NFC least division this year, the Redskins, who had Theismann 2.0 happen to Alex Smith this weekend. Man, now, I posted this scenario up on the page and everybody lost their fucking mind. Like, phew. But it was mostly... It was mostly the, that's alright, y'all are messing with me. Hey, you totally made me lose my train of thought. Oh, I hate when that happens. I'll come back to that. But the NFC East, that's where we were. But I posted this scenario earlier on the page and everybody lost their mind. Alex Smith is having an amazing season, Pro Bowl season, gets a concussion, playing for the 49ers. Never sees the field again. Colin Kaepernick comes in, rest is history. They end up sending him to Kansas City. Guy's got terrible luck. Goes to Kansas City, does nothing but play well, just happens to be on a team that doesn't have a lot of talent around him. He puts up stats, puts him in the playoffs every year. They send his ass packing to Kansas City for a rookie. Starter in KC. Goes to Washington, has him in first place, leading the division like nobody thought they would. And then he snaps his leg. There were rumors of Colin Kaepernick possibly getting an interview at the Redskins, which obviously didn't transpire. Dirty Sanchez got signed instead. But wouldn't it have been ironic as hell if he would have again lost his job to injury to old Afro? That would have been crazy. And I was just throwing it out there as a wouldn't that be funny type story. And people were like, oh my God, Kaepernick's not even in football anymore. It's like, Jesus Christ, you can't even make a simple little, wouldn't that be without people losing their mind. I swear to God. It's like every post I put up, I have to have an instruction manual underneath it or a disclaimer. Oh, Brandon, not only was it close, it was to the day. To the day and almost to the time in the game. It was the exact same date, almost the exact same time in the game, and the final score was exactly the same. There were so many similarities, and Joe Theismann was there in attendance watching the game when it happened. Some eerie shit there. Some eerie shit there. But Alex Smith, man, that dude's got no luck. No luck. And that leg, ooh, savage break. It was brutal. I'd stepped out of the room, and I was in here prepping for the halftime show in the studio, and Commish Jr. was in watching the Red Zone channel, because, I was watching the fantasy team, seeing how they was doing. And I come walking in there, and his eyes are like this big, and he's like, oh my God, Dad. I just seen the worst injury I ever seen happen live. And I'm like, oh, what happened? He's like, Alex Smith broke his leg. And I was like, okay, must have been bad. I could tell by the look on his face. That was like, damn, dude. I'm going for my phone. I'm like, shit, find replay, man. This shit's going to be gruesome. I want to see this shit. This must be like some Faces of Death shit, because my son's face went white. He's like, I'll never forget that. He's like, Dad, it's the worst injury I've ever seen live. Then they showed the replay of it. I was like, well, don't watch it again. Don't watch it again when they show it the next time. Of course, me, I'm like, oh, shit, where's this, man? I want to find this thing. I gotta watch it in slow-mo. Ooh. You know, and then you go and find oh, man, the Napoleon Callum. That's heinous. You see, like, his whole leg, like, shift to the side. Ah! The Napoleon McCallum injury, even though it's, you know, it's no worse than, you know, some of these other heinous ones, it just looks so bad. It made you want to, oh my God, just the thought of that one. Ooh. There's an ESPN, shit. Christ, it was probably 20 years ago. God damn, I'm really that old. But I remember it was once upon a time, I saw at ESPN top 10 worst sports injuries of all time, and they had one on there. I want to say it was from the New York track and field competition, the New York City track and field competition, and it was a guy doing the long jump, and he's taking off, and you plant, you know, when you do the plant and then you go to jump. And the dude goes to plant, and he just rolls into a ball in the sand pit. And the guys off to the side that were getting ready and lining up for one of the track competitions that was getting ready to start took off on accident, because when the dude went running and went to plant his leg, his freaking leg bone blew out the side of his leg and exploded and sounded like the starting pistol going off. And the guys off to the side in the video, you can see start running, and then they stop, and you see the dude go rolling. But yeah, that was a heinous one too. But yeah, the one guy, what was the guy's name in the NCAA tournament there a year or two ago? Ooh, that thing was heinous too. There's nothing worse than seeing, you know, man, you don't want to see anybody go down like that. Not even, you know, I don't wish that upon anybody except maybe Tom Brady. You know. Fucking somebody could still push John Elway down the fucking stairs, wouldn't break my heart. A couple choice guys. But other than that, I would hate to wish that upon anybody, because you don't want to see anybody. You know, they're just out there doing something that they love, and you don't want to see anybody. So, phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. If you feel like getting something off your mind, you got 9 more minutes. 9 more minutes. Oh, the Lambs are up. 40-30. 40-30. Give you guys a couple more minutes. If we don't have anything else, we'll probably wrap up the reaction. Those of you that are just joining us, new format, just on Mondays. Only Mondays. Oh, and basketball, yes. Mike, there's been some gruesome ones, man. There's been some gruesome ones like that. I can't remember the kid's name that was in the NCAA tournament there a couple years ago, but that was one of the worst ones I'd seen too, man. And it's just unfortunate, because you know when you see an injury like that, that's a long-term, debilitating, long rehab. It's, you know, it's going to require surgery, possibly rods, pins, screws. You know, you're never going to be the same as you were. You may get back to close, but you're never going to be as good as new. You're never as good as new again. And it's, you know, it's, when you see something that catastrophic, it's tough to watch, especially young kids and the guys you see it happen to in college, you know, when they're, you know, they haven't even really got their shot yet. It's tough to watch, So, but like I said, thank you for joining me, each and every one of you. I appreciate it. Our new Monday format, we will be doing this every Monday. It's the reaction. It's a bigger format, coming off the weekend. An opportunity to talk everything sports. Oh, we got somebody calling in. What's up? You're on the reaction with the Commish. Speak your mind.
Hey, I was gonna go the brighter NCAA route. Who in the draft are there some other guys? Obviously, we talk a lot about who we're gonna pick first. Do you think we're gonna get someone else or trade back, or who are some of the guys you'd like to see end up being Raiders from college?
Raiders from college. Well, good question. Good question. I guess that depends on where we're going. Honestly, if you think we're going first overall, I still think there's a good possibility we end up with the first overall pick. Do you think we go defense, or do you think we look wide receiver for that first overall pick? Because I think there's a possibility that we may look for that big game breaker wide receiver. So
I think with the depth of the defense, that wide receivers are going to fall this year. I don't think we need to take it with that first pick.
But it depends is Gruden enamored with somebody. You've got Brown, the guy from Ole Miss. You've got some other guys that are out there that maybe just, I don't know, entice him a little bit.
And then I've watched some tape on these defensive ends and pass rushers coming out. Why is no one talking about Jalen Ferguson? He's literally leading the nation in sacks.
Well, yeah, I mean, you should. I mean, obviously, statistically, but stats are tough for me in college. I mean, you had Josh Jackson, who was the corner for Iowa last year, who statistically looked like he could have been one of the greatest defensive backs ever if you looked at his stats. His stat line. Stats are tough in college because a lot of these guys pad those stats off of some of the lighter competitions. So
definitely, I looked at a lot of these guys, and a lot of these guys transition into like a Maurice Hurst, like a heads up guy. They don't have the speed to play outside too much. There's the guy out of Boston does, I think, but you look at the guy out of Boston and you go, oh well, that's Arden Key. That's tall, lengthy,
What do you think? What do you feel about Bosa? He seems to be the buzz topic that everybody keeps wanting to throw out there as the guy that we should absolutely go after. What's your thoughts on him? I'm on the fence on him.
So here's my thoughts on him. I think he's a diva.
I think you're right.
I think he's injury prone a little bit. I think his brother, they kind of have that, I got a bruise in my leg, I'm not playing for 2 weeks. And I think that he's the most talented guy coming out of the draft at a position of need for us. But I think he's a 4-year rental, and then he's gone because we're not going to pay him $25 million.
I think you're right. I think he's a diva. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. The fact he's setting out to get himself healthy for a team he's not even on. I don't know, man. There's just something about that guy. He just seems to be like he's all about him. He just wants to get that one big paycheck, and I don't know. I'm on the fence on him.
I mean, at least you're on board with me. We're not going to look at Le'Veon Bell. He's a guy after a contract.
I agree.
Gruden year this year is literally, let's see who's buying in. If you're going to buy in, you're going to ride with the team. You're going to go out there and put your full effort in.
Oh yeah, it's an audition.
If you're not, they're leaving like they say it, like a dumpster fire. No, get the heck out of the.
Well, they're currently, I think it's 12. I want to say it's 12. I think it's currently, there's only 12 of the current starters that are under contract for next season. So you're automatically going to see basically probably up to a half turnover of just your starters, and that's not talking the rest of the other 53-man roster, because that's going to be a total cleaning house too.
Because it was under Del Rio, it was the talent carried the team to make the coaching staff look better.
Yeah.
They didn't make the talent perform better. Gruden's taking some younger guys and some less talent and making them look better than the guys did under Del Rio. And it's kind of crazy how watching it happen, even though we're losing, we're looking better the last few weeks as it gets
I agree.
gotten worse. We're looking better because the guys that are cancers are leaving.
Yeah, and the young guys are getting a chance to play together, and they're getting a chance to gel. Pull Reggie Nelson out. You stick Carl Joseph in there. Let him play with these guys that he would be playing with next season if you allow them to stay together. Build some some continuity between them. Understand where each other's going to be. That's how you build a team.
Yep. Did you see the look on Jordy Nelson's face?
He didn't want to be there at all. I wondered if anybody else had seen that. Emotionless. That dude wasn't there. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He wasn't paying attention. He was just there in body. His mind was like, why? Why am I here? What did I do wrong?
Yep. And then another kid, I think that he's getting a little talk now, but I think he's a little bit underrated. They talk about Felon Farrell from Clemson, and they talk about the fabulous 4 defensive linemen, because all of them look like they're going to be selected in either this draft or next draft.
Mm.
I think Dexter Lawrence is the anchor for that line, and I think that we need that double team nose tackle guy can take on double teams and shed a guy to make the tackle in the run game, or plug the hole so the linebackers can move behind him.
Yeah. There's so many different directions we could go in this draft. I'm real interested to watch this draft a lot more than I have been some of the ones in previous years, because with this many picks.
With our record we have and how many picks, we really have a lot to look forward to.
Oh yeah, the strategy that you can be able to enlist in this draft is, you can trade up, trade down, you can turn picks into multiple picks. I mean, we could get so many people out of this draft. It's crazy. It's hard to tell what's going to come of this draft.
Yep, and then I mean, so. The guy out of Alabama, the free safety, a lot of people are talking about how much he wanted. He plays for the freaking Chargers. Derwin James. How he wanted Derwin James. That Bama safety has more range and a bigger body build, and he's got the over the top coverage skills. So there's a high possibility he might just override everyone in the organization, be like, no, I wanted my safety last year. We needed them. Reggie Nelson's been terrible.
Oh, God.
Affected the whole defense, and then just draft a safety. Like you're saying, there's so many ways they can go. They can go wide receiver. They could go offensive line. They can go running back.
Yeah,
they can go linebacker. They can go defensive end.
And Gruden could just be in love with a certain guy. He's got these 3 picks, and he's like, I want that guy. Regardless, I'll do something else with the other stuff, but I want that guy. And if maybe he's got his eye on that guy, whoever it may be. I mean, it's hard to tell. He's the one. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because the moves he's made so far, nobody predicted. So it's hard to tell what the hell he's going to do in the draft.
Yeah, but okay. So yes, nobody's predicted them, but didn't we see this coming? When he got hired and he was like,
oh yeah,
we do not have a very good team and we're going to have to build on it. It's less of a surprise. I think we saw a lot of this coming. I think not to the extent it's coming, but I think we saw a lot of.
I agree.
There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be cut that we're not expecting to not, be cut.
I agree. I agree with you. I think you knew he was going to put his thumbprint on this team. I just don't think anybody thought it was going to go to the extent it did.
I thought it was going to happen before the season.
Yeah, I thought we were rolling with who we went in with. I thought once we got there, this is who we're rolling with. This is who we're going. I agree.
Yeah.
But.
Well, it's your time. I'm off the phone. Thanks for the chat.
You bet, my man. Thanks for calling in. And that's it. If you didn't make it in this time, join us next Monday for the next edition of The Reaction as we open up the phone lines and the forum to a much wider, broader sports format. So talk about whatever the hell you want. Just on Mondays. Because the rest of the week, we're right back to the same old Raider reaction. Tomorrow, same Raider time, same Raider channel. A solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black, the Raider Nation Report, as we talk nothing but Raiders. Wednesday, Prime joins me for another edition of Ghost of the Post as we rip through all of the Week 12 picks and get you up to speed as to where we're at in our standings between me and Prime through 11 weeks. Then on Thursday, we got a whole new show for you. Make sure you tune in. I think you're going to enjoy it. And on Friday, every Friday's Black Friday on Raider Reaction. As we're back, as we will be playing a classic Raiders-Ravens game. Getting ready for this week's matchup against the Shitbirds out there in Baltimore. Thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate any second you spend with me. Raider Reaction, The Reaction, whatever. Anytime you stop in. The Reaction is only on Mondays, and Mondays only. I'll see you tomorrow night for the Raider Nation Report. Solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. I'm out. Peace, love. Raider Nation!